Hello and welcome to the next level. We are happy to have you with us here for part 2 of our season finale. Almost said series finale. It is not the series finale, it's the season finale.
Depending on how we roll, we'll see.
Yes. All right, so we will get right down into things after a moment or two. One quick announcement, which is basically that we will have an announcement after the session today. We haven't been having any of our usual ask fors the last few sessions, so we've got a new thing we're doing, and we're going to start that off after this session. So stick around so you can hear that. We'll also be posting it online, so you can catch it there. Second thing is Leon's start of session roll.
All ready to do that.
Do that. Oh, geez, another 25. I need to do math. There we go. Okay. And that takes us back into our world where we are in the middle of a rather epic bit of a fight with some assassins that have attacked the village in which Mint used to live, a village populated by, in the most part, the 17th Fusiliers, which are a rogue group of from the Moorish Empire that are thought to be dead, but several have survived and are otherwise living sort of far distant from the Empire, and their plan, as Mint has revealed, is to hopefully someday assassinate the Emperor. And last time, our heroes warned the village of the impending assassin attack and arrived in time to help defeat the assassins. However, the assassins have been fairly ruthless and have already sort of cut through some of the villagers that are here. And we pick things up actually a little out of combat initiative. We ended off last time with Leon, who I believe is currently attached to a wall, standing on a wall of one of the doors in the town hall, looking up and seeing an old friend happen to be entering with a halfling, and just sort of, curious about that and what are they doing here. And really, sort of even as they see you and you see them and you're sort of across this hall from each other, you don't really have time to say anything. This old friend of yours cries out in pain and falls, looking to be dead, with a dagger in their back, and an assassin appears behind them. Assassin is there. I'm just going to adjust these people around slightly.
Oh, that assassin doesn't know. Don't make Leon angry.
You won't like Leon when she.
And the assassin then sort of appears as this attack happens, and then starts to run away. 1, 2, 3, so it gets to about there-ish or so. And now we will resume regular combat order. Okay, Mint. You are in the room with the leader still, I believe. The leader has been webbed. The leader makes a strength check, not a saving throw, just a check to escape the web. I'm not even gonna ask what your DC is. The leader escapes the web.
Oh, Rob.
But with Mint still in the room, still sort of, pointing their weapon at him, he sort of pulls himself out of this and, tosses some of the web aside and just sort of sighs and looks at Mint. And I'm going to give him another roll. Mint, give me an intimidation check.
Oh, fun. I think I'm good at those.
Don't say that. That's the jinx. That always makes the roll go
with
down.
Advantage. I will give you advantage on
well,
this.
I already have advantage on my intimidation checks.
Double advantage.
Am I getting double advantage?
No, that's
no.
not
I didn't think so. I didn't think that was a thing. Yeah, but that's why I was like, yay. But yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have jinxed it. See?
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
that's with the advantage. Yeah, you're right, Will. I'm sorry, everybody.
Okay.
All right. So what does he do? There's web pretty much filling this room. Now I will ask, what is the strength DC? What is the check to get through the web?
16.
So he pushes, he's kind of sort of gotten out of the web, but pushes through some of the web to get to the other door that was in this room and exits through that, which means Will, the leader, is now in your room, which is very crowded with the leader, 2 assassins, you, and a whole bunch of people trying to pile in behind you. And that will that be the end of his turn? Is that all he's going to do?
So the web, the entire area where the web is difficult terrain.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a huge room,
right.
but even he didn't get very far anyway before he had to stop.
Okay. Is he still in the web, or is he out of the web?
No,
now?
He's out of the web.
Well, fine.
Yeah, Will, give me an insight check on this strange new person who has just entered the room. Natural 20. Good. I like this. All right, so
That's what has happened.
You see this guy enter, and you haven't really seen him before. You weren't one of the people who encountered him in the clearing. He looks worn down. He's doubting himself, doubting what he's doing. He's not happy to be here by any means, and he almost seems like of the people in the room, he sees the assassins, he sees everyone else, and he almost seems more afraid of the assassins than he does of everyone else.
All right.
So I'll give you that.
Okay.
And then we'll jump outside to Jacob. It is your turn.
I believe Auroch and I were kind of aiming at these people.
Yep.
Any of them currently injured?
Oh, yes. Let me find which group that is. Yeah, the one right in front of Tor is very injured.
Okay. Maybe I'll have Edgar take care of that one. I'll aim at the other one.
Sure.
With the firebolt.
14 does not. Does not hit these folks.
Okay. And then Edgar will attack the other one.
Okay. That definitely hits. All right. They are more hurt, but not down yet.
Sorry.
All right. Any movement, bonus actions? I'm assuming bonus action was probably Edgar.
Yeah, the bonus action was I believe I have to use that to tell Edgar to attack.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for me.
All right.
I believe I'm still floating in midair, and didn't something like shoot past me or something?
Yes, a bullet whizzed past your ear just a moment ago. So you can, if you sort of looked in that direction, you can see a window that has been sort of shattered, hard to look through, and then it gets even harder to look through as it's covered in web.
So that was the bullet I fired then, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
The webbing is only lightly obscured, though.
Fair.
How flammable is the web?
It's flammable.
Just asking for a friend.
Mint, it is your turn next.
So just as carryover from last time, I was probably screaming blue bloody murder and trying to intimidate him, realizing that he wasn't really listening to me, and now I of course want to follow him.
And you don't even really have to follow him. Like he got to the door, he opened the door, he took like a step beyond before he stopped because he couldn't get much further. So you could actually sort of still see part of him through the doorway. You can move yourself slightly to get a better angle on him, but yeah, he's still not that far away from you.
Yeah, pretty much. Mint is the kind of person that follows up on her threats because otherwise no one would ever believe her intimidation ever, so she's going to fire on him, just moving slightly so that she does have direct line of sight on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to shoot my pistol.
You shoot him.
Where is my...
So, at whatever point I become aware that he has escaped and I can stop concentrating, I will stop concentrating so as to not impede Minuset.
We'll finish up Min's turn and I'll address that. Yep.
Okay.
I just realized for some reason on the other page it didn't save that I had that I was using the pistol for some reason. It's saved that I was using the other thing, which is bizarre. There we go. Okay, so that should update that. Yes. Okay. Cool. Might be similar, anyways. DC +6, 1d10 +3.
Shoot him.
I don't have advantage, though, correct?
No.
No, I did not think so. Okay. Yeah. All right. Getting closer here, guys. Sorry for the delay.
No worries.
I don't know why it didn't say which weapon I was using. That is bizarre.
I haven't seen the outcome yet.
No, it's still...
No. It might still be calculating.
Well, it did say Mint was typing, and then it's there you go.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, that's not good.
All right. So, Talon, a bullet comes whizzing into this room, ricochets off of a few things, but doesn't actually hurt anybody. It just sort of stuns everybody in the room for a second.
Right.
Leon.
Yep.
You've just seen one of your childhood friends stabbed potentially to death in front of you.
Yeah.
Just for fun, I'm going to make you make a concentration check on that.
Okay. And that's a con save, isn't it?
Yep.
I'm going to fail.
With a smile.
Don't say that.
I'm going to fail.
Yep.
Oh, God.
No, the web goes away.
Yeah. I don't have a good constitution.
All right. I'm like, yeah, that could potentially result in a concentration check. All right, but that was slightly out of turn. So Alphonse is next. Alphonse is a bear.
So
He sure is.
out of curiosity, though,
He's also a large hairy mammal right now, but that's entirely different.
out of curiosity, though, did the web go down in time for Minuset to be able to follow up, to shoot at the guy and then go in after him if she wanted to do so?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes, Alphonse.
Okay, Alphonse is going after this dude here.
Yep.
So yeah, he's a bear right now.
Like
he's gonna
bear. Yep.
He's gonna move and he's going to attack that person. As a bear, he has multi-attack.
Nice.
He's got a bite and he's got a claw. So I'm gonna roll the bite first. That's a 13.
That misses.
And the next is the claws. This is a 10.
That also misses.
Alphonse isn't used to being a bear, so he's a little like, and he's much larger than he normally is, so he's like, he doesn't understand how large he is, so he's like trying to, and the guy's just like, okay.
Yeah, and I'll just, Alphonse, remind us that Alphonse is a bear.
The bear is sitting on Alphonse.
Yeah, and Gildy is next. Gildy is still up in the tower, the north.
Oh yeah.
And yeah,
He hasn't even entered the city.
Nope. Are otherwise descending from the tower and trying to get down into the village.
Right.
Gildy
She was going to. Does she have a line of sight on them right now?
Not well. Give me a perception check. It would be very difficult to see them, but if you roll high enough, maybe.
Guilty is very perceptive. Ooh. Oh, but halfling, which means she gets to reroll.
Oh, nice.
I finally remembered this for once.
There you
That's a
go.
much better roll.
Someone steps in front of her and then she ducks through their legs.
All right. I will say that, yeah, you can roughly see where they are, even sort of behind that large tent there. You sort of, we're tracking where they were, and you can just see them starting to disappear behind the tent. If you want to take a final shot at one of them, you can go ahead.
Yes.
I think Gildy needs to like shoot through that tent and kill one of them. as they're like, oh, surely we've gotten away. And then it's
yeah. So which one can she see better? If
give me an odd or even roll. So any dice, just we'll just see whether it's odd or even. Okay. So yeah, you can see the one of them a little bit better, but that just determines on my list which one you're actually hitting here.
Okay, she's gonna shoot at that one.
Yep.
I have a macro for this one.
Shooting 3 times.
There's the
That
first
hits.
one.
Oh,
Nice. And then the second one.
That hits.
And then the bonus action.
Oh, that one misses. No.
Can you imagine?
And you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna say you take that guy down.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because that is an epic, nice, shot through the tent, 3 arrows. I don't know. I expected them. Yeah.
Yeah. And then to finish up her turn, she's gonna come down from the tower.
All right. I'm gonna give you a fun little option here because it's
Okay.
it's fun to be fun. There's a nice little guide wire that sort of goes down from the tower and sort of touches down just sort of where those tents, the sort of central market is. If you wanted to try and zip line down from there, I'd give you an acrobatics check to do that.
Hell yes, Gildy's gonna zip line down.
You throw your sort of bow over there and zip line down. Yep.
Yeah. Acrobatics, eh? Ooh.
Oh yeah.
21.
Yeah. So you are able to land about there.
And then the people up in the tower, because Guilty was only up there for 1 or 2 turns. And they're like, who is this?
Yeah.
And
All right.
yeah,
That was
that's the rest of
amazing.
Guilty's turn.
I'm so sad that none of the rest of us saw that
I know.
because that was amazing.
All right. Those 2 assassins are surrounded by a bunch of people. Yeah. Yep. That's what they're gonna do. All right. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Oh, no, never mind. So yeah, that does hit. Okay. So here's what Talon, what you see happen with the 2 assassins that are in your room.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they got a sense from that leader, from the leader as well, that there was some doubt going on. So one of them, even though there's sort of even some people between them and the leader, sort of lunges through, stabs the leader twice. The leader falls, and then both assassins essentially start doing strange. It's like they're having a seizure or something. They're essentially twitching and not doing so well.
Sorry, one of the assassins?
Both of the assassins.
All right. It's like a weird cyanide thing. Anyway.
Something like that, yeah. And then it's your turn.
Well, I clearly defeat the assassins.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Weird turn of events. Okay. So does Talon feel confident enough that the 2 assassins that seem to be seizing or whatever on the ground are out? They're not faking or anything else?
You mean insight check? Oh yeah, yeah. They are dying.
Okay.
They could probably be saved if you wanted to, but they are dying.
Talon was going to kill them, so well, try. But Talon will definitely then move to the leader, who he's really just seen for like a brief moment, and has somehow caught this insightful glance that he just kind of seems kind of ho-hum about his life choices.
Yep.
As of recent. So he's been stabbed twice. I guess he'll try to like look to him and say like, who are you?
Maybe I did not describe that well enough. The leader is unconscious on the floor.
Oh, sorry, he was stabbed, and I thought he went down, but no, it's okay. Gotcha. Okay.
I really stopped Talon from asking him who he is.
Who do you work for?
That's right.
Who's the one-armed man?
That's right. All right. Talon is going to pick him up and move into the main hall of this.
You're big enough; you can push through the rest of the people who are here who are not going to fight you. Yep.
So then you'll undoubtedly almost bang heads with Leon, who's basically standing on the wall at the top of the door.
Nice.
But is looking up. But yeah, because undoubtedly you have to duck to go through the door, and then it's like, oh, Leon is right there.
Classic Leon. Yeah, so whether Talon notices that Leon is up there or not, basically kind of come to the room partly to be like almost presenting that the leader is dead, so maybe that might stop something. But also just he's not really sure what to do, and so he just kind of comes in the room and just like lays the assassin down, kind of roughly center of the room, however there is space, and looks around to see who else is in here.
Leon is on a wall. There's a halfling in here that looks a little bit panicked and is trying to revive an elf that is bleeding out on the floor. Both of them are near the entranceway. There's a few other people just outside the entranceway that are looking a little shocked, probably getting prepared to run after somebody. Yeah, that's pretty much. There's a couple people probably around the doorway you just came out of as well that couldn't have quite fit into the room you just came out of.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and there's a couple other dead bodies, or recently not so healthy-eyed bodies that are close by as well that the assassins were fighting when you got in here.
Okay. If at all possible, and this wouldn't be a thorough check, but maybe Talon would try to see if he has any pockets on him. If there's any kind of, is there a note, a list, or something where it's like, here are the people that have come here to kill? Just if there's any information, any clue to that.
You don't find anything of that sort. You would probably find, a purse of, gold, some other sort of knickknacks, some weapons, but nothing like that.
Okay. Then at that point, Talon will just sort of like look around and kind of, that'll end his turn and wait to see what happens next, and then eventually act in response.
Okay. Leon.
So my ring.
Yes.
My ring of life.
Yep.
That does not have. Oh darn it! It is a once per day. No.
Yep.
All right, fine. Then, thankfully, I've been reminded that I'm flying, so I will fly over as quickly as I can.
Yep.
And feed them a healing potion.
You notice as you do that the halfling was healing them at the same time.
Oh, so they're already they're.
Well, it's
they're
pretty much
you're
there. You're feeding them a healing potion. You haven't been really paying attention until you're done to that, and then you notice the halfling is like, "Okay, I'm also healing them." But yes, yeah. So you can spend your healing potion.
All right. Well, I mean, if I saw that, if I in any way noticed that they were getting healed otherwise, then I would be going after their murderer and not using my action to...
I'm going to say you would probably focus more on them.
Cool. Then I will finish my movement by coming outside.
Yep.
And I believe, so that was... How much movement did that take to get me there?
Yeah, I'm doing some sort of rough calculations here because this hall is not probably actually to scale. Probably about 45 feet.
Okay. So I can get to about there? Flying, is that correct? Because I can move 60?
Yeah, I can't remember how we're doing diagonals, but sure.
Okay, and I'll be a little bit up. Does this person look like... I don't want to be like, you know, right up against them. I want to be like 10 feet up kind of thing in this location. Do they... So maybe, you know what? I guess I'll be back here. Do they look at all injured, or are they like
They
at full
do not
health?
look injured.
They don't look injured at all?
No.
Okay. And I have only a bonus action left, right?
Yep.
All right. I don't think I have anything that I can do as a bonus action. Nope. Other than my one spell that I don't really want to use right now. All right. Then I will just, you know, somewhat silently hunt them down. What race are they?
It's hard to tell. Human, probably, but they sort of, yeah, got a bit of a cloak up. And again, given sort of the description I gave to the others, and I don't think you got a great look at the assassins until you got here. They're sort of, yeah, in this sort of weird, almost imagine like a ghillie suit. Right, so it's got sort of, but it's sort of just sort of all these weird strips of like black rags, and there's sort of some armor on. It's sort of hard to tell what they are, but you think from sort of bits and pieces you've seen from some of the other assassins, they are probably human.
Okay, but I'm mostly concerned about, do they look at all elven?
Probably not. From what you can see, like you would expect an elf to probably be slightly more slight of build, maybe a little bit shorter. So.
And then even half elves, they don't. There's nothing about them
that would be harder to tell. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's nothing that I can see that suggests that they are in any way elven.
No.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Okay, that happens. That happens. And move this person. All right. And what are they gonna do? They've got a bear right in front of them. Yep. Alphons can make an attack of opportunity as the assassin in front of them is running away from the bear.
Awesome. Is this like he can do
bite or a claw?
Okay. Yeah. He will do claws.
Finally hits. All right, there we go.
Yay. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just double checking that I'm using the right one. Yep. 6 damage.
6. All right.
Slashing damage.
Going to be this person. All right, and what they are doing, is running this way. To seemingly join up with that other assassin.
Yay!
They will see Leon.
Boo!
And give them an insight check to try and figure out if you're actually following them or not. Are you trying to in any way hide the fact that you're following this person?
No, I mean, I probably look a little bit surprised when somebody else comes around the corner and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. So they sort of come around the corner and see you and be like, ah, crap, and fire a crossbow at you.
No.
Ouch.
Don't do it, Rob.
It was nice knowing Leon.
Seriously?
It's a 24 to hit.
Yeah. I never even use my shield spell, and do you know why, Rob? Because
you know what? I have a wizard in another game. I sympathize. It's either just one above and you never can use it. It's really annoying.
No, you never do just one above. It's always like 25.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like one above what you would use if you were using your shield spell, and it's not even worth it to use your shield spell. How many dice am I getting here? So it's a D8 for the crossbow, yes. And then okay, so you are not surprised.
Nope.
And it's not a melee attack.
Nope. And they don't have an ally within 5 feet of me because I stayed away from their friend.
Yeah. All right. So you can avoid that damage. Yay!
Yay!
So you take. Oh, you're so lucky. 4 points of piercing damage, and make a Constitution saving throw.
So sorry, you said I was lucky?
Hey, you're not taking the extra 4d6 of sneak attack damage, and you rolled I rolled a 1 on the main damage.
Yes. Please tell me that makes it.
It hasn't shown up here yet.
Haven't seen it.
It's an 18. That is almost the best I can do.
It didn't show up in the.
Yeah, I see. There's your connection to the server has been interrupted.
Oh yeah, mine too. I just got that.
Yeah, I wonder if Roll20 is struggling.
Roll20 is going down. Oh no!
yeah.
There it is.
There you go.
Okay.
Shut up.
All right. So on a failed save.
Not that we didn't believe you, D.
So
What? Is that a failed save?
no, sorry. On a successful save,
Okay.
you take half as much. So
I was
that's what,
like,
sorry, I was looking
please.
at. 12 is 6 poison damage.
Yes, I'm alive.
Yeah. All right, and then Torok, it is your turn.
I will hopefully finish off the person in front of me. Waiting, aren't you?
I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see it in the chat, like in the.
Oh, there it is. Yep. Sorry. Yeah, that definitely hits 12 damage. Okay. That is going to be enough. Yep. That
Okay.
was down.
Now hitting the second guy, though I will not get advantage on.
That
Correct?
is correct. Yeah.
Okay.
You would if the person in front of them was still alive, but unfortunately, no.
There it is. So I will also swing the axe at him.
Swing away. Swing away. Swing away. 9 damage. All right.
Swing away, a swing away.
What
In
was it?
my
Was I
axe
looking at the
head, my
wrong person?
mighty axe head.
I was looking at the wrong person. All right, so that one's dead, and this one takes 9 damage. Okay. All right, they are starting to look hurt. And yes, just 2 attacks for you. Anything else you'd like to do?
No, at this point he's still a threat. So.
Okay. All right. The leader has not been healed. Makes a death saving throw. All right. Jacob.
I will continue plan A. So I will attack the one that Torque is also attacking.
That definitely hits. 13
And
damage.
I will bonus action Edgar to also do the same attack.
Oh, yeah. They are starting to look quite hurt.
Pew pew.
Any movement?
No.
Okay. Mint. You have seen the leader go down. You have seen Talon carry the leader away.
Mm-hmm. So that kind of ended my hopes to kind of end conflict with everybody, because I was willing to hold his head up and get all the assassins to back down.
Although, that would have worked? Now you're wondering if the assassins actually killed him. So.
Yeah, because I probably was close enough to see all that happen because I had eyes on him the whole time. So I'm just kind of like,
Exactly.
That's a bad day.
It is a bad day. But I also likely saw the reaction, if I had a clear visual of it, of the two that stabbed him, then immediately like falling to the ground, twitching and foaming at the mouth.
Yep.
So I kind of want to just start shouting, like, to all allies, get the word out. The leader is down. The leader is down. The assassins are defeated. You know, like the leader of the assassins is down. So just give that a try and see if other assassins will do the same thing. Will they also choke on their cyanide pills or whatever it is they've got in their teeth?
All right. I will allow that to be a free thing as you are doing something else if you like.
Okay. The other thing I want to do is in this room, if there are any of my allies who are engaged that I could assist by helping them flank an assassin, I would like to move towards them.
There are no other assassins in this building.
Okay, then I might as well keep making my way out towards the leader's building, so I would like to move towards it.
Sorry, towards just the outside?
Yeah, outside and to the right.
All right, so yeah, Talon and the leader right there is here. Oops, spinning
Move the wrong guy!
All right, so you're sort of coming out. You can see Talon and the leader, who's sort of laying the leader down. And you're sort of running out. You can see, again, a halfling and an elf in the doorway. The elf does not look healthy, but not dead.
Okay. And I can see Leon from here as well? Or not quite yet?
No. If you do a double move, you'd be able to get outside, and then you can see Leon.
I might as well do a double move since I'm not physically in altercation with anybody.
Right. So I'll say that's about 50 feet of your movement. You have 10 feet left if you want.
How is Leon doing?
How is Leon doing?
I mean, I'm looking kind of hurt. I've got a crossbow bolt sticking out of me.
Okay, yeah. So I have potions on me.
I'm 10 feet in the air.
I can't jump that high. I'll just, because speaking's a free action, I have healing potions if you need.
Shoot them instead! Shoot them!
I don't have enough action left to shoot them, though, unfortunately.
I know.
Next time.
But that's what Leon's priority would be.
Yeah, but I know who my target is now, so I will target who Leon pointed out.
Okay. What you do notice is during this interaction, the one assassin does sort of turn back and look around, seems to notice you saying these things and doing these things. Alphonse, what would Alphonse like to do? Alphonse the bear.
Alphonse the bear. Let me see. He is probably going to chase the person who he was previously attacking and who ran away from him. And
you can get about, that's 30 feet of movement.
Yeah. As a bear, he has 40, so he's good. So he's going to get there, and then he's again going to try the bite in the claws. He's starting to get used to the claws. You know, he made contact last time, so he's feeling good. And then this first one is for the bite.
Nope. It's the whole charging and moving. That's the difficult part.
And it's hard with his face, right? Because he's not used to like trying to bite people as a halfling.
That's
So,
true.
Okay, he's feeling a little off from missing with the bite, a little bit embarrassed, but he's gonna go at it with the claws.
Embarrassed. Best bear pun.
Embarrassed. Oh, I didn't even notice that. But then he like kind of trips and falls as he's trying. He's not used to balancing on 4 legs, which you think would be easier, but when you're just a big giant bear, it's like, ugh.
Leon and Mint, there's a bear.
Who looks kind of embarrassed?
Yes.
Who's embarrassed?
Can we kind of figure out that, hey, this might not be a real bear?
If you give me an insight check, I'll let you know.
Especially since he's swearing in common. I just.
All right.
You're probably slightly confused. It might take you a moment to figure out. Yes, this is probably Alphonse, since you have seen Alphonse shape change before.
All right. I'm gonna try.
Guilty.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I'm like, there's a bear. Whereas Minuset is like, there's a druid.
Gildy, if you would like to move as fast as you can make it. How far?
Gildy's got short little legs, so
yeah.
Sure, she'll hustle. That's where she'll go. She'll do a double move, and that's probably. I think that's all that she does.
Okay, they're dead. Talon, no one has really reacted at this point much with you and this leader person.
Fair enough. Well, I've seen Leon and Mint both going out the door again, and I've heard growls and cursing as a bear and stuff happening, so I'll just leave the leader of the assassins where they are, and I will go out the door and see what I see. I know what he'll see, but
so I'm going to give you a little something here, just as a tidbit, as you're heading towards the door and out the door. Mm-hmm. You get to this person, this elf, who's sort of being helped up a little bit by this halfling. Mm-hmm. And just as a sort of a cursory glance, sort of look down at them, and before moving on, there is something familiar about them, and not how they look. You haven't seen this person before, but there's something familiar about their presence or how they're dressed or something. Something seems to click with you that there's something about this person you are familiar with in some way, but it doesn't quite exactly click in that moment. Okay.
So yeah, tell him how that kind of percolate in the back of his mind as much as it percolate there. And
that's about 40 feet of movement to get you out the door.
All right. So at which point I will see them. Is taking out my boomerang an action or like a swift action?
No, just interacting with one object is free. So yeah.
Sweet. Then I will see these assassin-y people down the way.
Yep.
Will draw my boomerang. Is it draw your boomerang? Is it how do you, what's the anyway? And basically throw the boomerang at one of them.
Boomerang away.
All right. I will assume I'll go. I'm not sure who's injured, but I'll go for this one because they were kind of the most visible to me as I walk out the door. Boomerang, 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 boom. No.
All right, and roll to see if it comes back.
You are effectively throwing over Minuset and under Leon. So it is a bit of a trick shot.
That's right, yes. All right. So now, sorry. Hang on, I read that there's actually more to this boomerang than what we've been doing. So I'll get to that in a second.
Is there?
There is.
I'm on your character at the moment.
Does it make a boom sound when you throw it?
No.
Oh, it's if on its return it can do things. Yes.
Yes, exactly. That's what we've been kind of skipping, which hasn't come.
I don't think it's impacted things much.
Okay, so all right, so odd number, it comes back to me.
Yeah.
Even it's whatever. So it's flying for a while.
All right, roll a d12.
So Boomerang goes.
4 hours.
Come back in 4 hours. I love that weapon. All right. So yes, it misses Mint, it misses Leon, it misses the assassin, and keeps going out into the Badlands.
It's going for a journey.
That's right.
All right. Anything else? You have bonus action?
No.
All right. Okay. Leon.
Okay, so I think that this bear is a bear. However, the bear is attacking the assassins.
Yeah, it's not hurting you in any way.
And I'm 10 feet up anyway.
Yep.
So it's a helpful bear. So I'm going to tidal wave both of these people.
Nice.
Doesn't say anything about any need for direction to orient it. It is up to 30 feet long and up to 10 feet wide and up to 10 feet tall. So basically, I'm just going to like hit those 4 squares that kind of capture the 2 of them.
Yep.
There's just a 10-foot tall wave that just goes
All right.
over top of them.
What
So
do they need?
They need to make a dex save DC 16.
Okay. I'm just getting some dice here.
Alphonse, the helpful bear, is very startled by this.
Okay. DC 16 dex save.
Yeah, and I didn't roll fantastic, but
Okay.
hopefully this one of them fails.
It looks like one of them failed, yes.
Yay! Okay, so that one takes 16, the other one takes 8, but the one who failed is also prone.
All right. The other one takes 8. And this one is prone. Is there a good little image for prone?
Is it the one in front of the bear that's prone?
It is.
Yeah! Go bear! Maul that person, who probably goes before the bear, but oh well.
All right. That sort of looks like a semi-prone person. All right. Anything else you'd like to do?
Okay, so they're prone.
Oh, I forgot they went out of order. Oh, well.
So they're probably concerned with the bear now and not going to be shooting at me. Does the other one look like are they pulling out a weapon? Or are they just like, oh, there's a bear and a tidal wave and oh goodness, I'm out of here. Like, what do they look like they're going to do? Do I think they're going to turn around and shoot me?
You don't know.
All right, if I don't know, then I'm going to fly up here and hide behind this little thing here.
Okay.
Because I'm not feeling well, and I know that if they hit me again, I'm going to die. So I'm basically just like peeking over the top of there and kind of like
Okay.
Yeah, keeping myself alive.
So what you do see, this assassin gets up from prone.
Darn it.
Yeah, unfortunately they were going next. And there's sort of a quick discussion between these two. This one drinks a potion and disappears. And what would this one do? Got a bear right there.
And unfortunately
Cyanide pill.
Fortunately, the water doesn't stick around.
Yeah.
So
Doesn't make this whole area just a little bit muddy and awkward, and not difficult terrain, just muddy and difficult and messy.
But then it disappears.
Yeah.
Like it's specifically like it goes and it would flow all out, so the bear would get wet, but then the water disappears, so it doesn't stay. Unfortunately.
Yep. That's.
Does this mean that we're going to be smelling wet bear?
All right. Alphonse gets another attack of opportunity. We'll see if they can.
Okay.
Running away from the bear again.
He's gonna try again with his like reaching out after them as they go.
See if this is the only way he can hit people. Yep.
Apparently.
It's a bear of opportunity.
2d4 plus 2.
Couldn't bear it to miss them, yes.
7.
All right. They run 10, 15, 20. 30-ish, sort of over to here. And sort of with their crossbow out are sort of Talon and Mint. They're sort of, you can't quite figure out which one of you they're pointing at. That's gonna hit. Yep. And this crossbow bolt gets released and is coming right at you and then between you. And you look and it hits that elf that just got healed.
Oh, elf. Did the elf get, sorry, I missed it. Did the elf get pulled outside then?
No, they're sort of still in the doorway.
The doorway, okay, gotcha.
That's why they had to sort of come out this far to sort of be able to see them.
Gotcha.
All right. And, yep. Yep. Okay. All right. And the elf seems to go back down again. And they get one attack with their crossbow.
Can't keep a good elf up.
Yeah. But I will give Leon, Edmund, and Talon an insight check.
Okay.
It's a really relatively obvious insight check. You just have to make like a DC 5.
Challenge accepted.
Come on, roll 20.
I got
Talon.
12.
Yep.
So I think I made it.
And Leon.
This elf is a target, isn't it?
Yep. You figure most likely the entire reason these assassins are here is for that elf.
Then I yell for them to close the door.
That's also a potentially smart move. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to keep things in initiative order just for a moment. Torek, your turn.
Okay, let's see if we can take the last one down. I should still have that in. Cut my clipboard. Yeah. First attack. Probably not.
Nope.
Okay. Second. Oh, good lord.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
All right. Leader makes a death save. Jacob.
I still go through the same ones, I think.
Yeah.
So my attack first, and then Edgar's. Ugh, gross.
This is us just dodging everything from all angles. They've gone full Matrix. And Edgar.
Oh, I rolled. Really missed. Edgar really missed.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm assuming we have a slow roll 20 again. All right.
You can see it on my screen.
Yeah. Mint.
Okay.
There's an assassin right in front of you.
I'm going to
assassinate the assassin.
I guess so. I don't actually have my rapier out. I've been using the pistol the whole time, so.
You can draw it. That's a free action just to draw one weapon.
Okay.
You got a free hand if you only have the one pistol in your one hand. So
that is fair. And I have 2-weapon fighting, although that is more for using 2 melee weapons at the same time.
I mean, if you really wanted to, you could hit with your rapier and like try and bludgeon them with your pistol.
No, I think I'm okay. I don't want to risk damaging the gun.
Yeah.
That's just a bad idea. All right, I will hit them with my rapier.
All right. So
I don't have advantage though, do I? I'm not flanking them.
No.
No, I didn't think so. Poop.
Unless you really want to go the long way around them, but even so, there's nobody on the other side.
Yeah, there's no. All right. Rapier. Come on, rapier. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Suddenly.
Why are these guys so hard to hit?
Anything else?
Well, considering they're right in front of me and I don't have to move per se.
Well, you get 2 attacks, right?
Oh yeah, I can. Right, at this level. I
That's
forgot.
right. You do have an extra attack.
I do.
That definitely misses. Yep, sorry.
Ah, come on! Let me just check my sheet quick. 1 moment. Actions. Boop. Did I use this yet?
Your action surge? Yes, you have used it and not taken a long rest, I think, since.
Well, I don't have action surge check, but that might have been from the previous fight. But I used Adept Marksman, but I don't have action surge checked. Do you guys remember me using it?
No, Miniset has not used action surge.
Oh, I thought she used it in the first fight. No, I guess she never actually fought.
No.
Yeah, I ran away. I was ordered by Torok to run away.
Yeah, she's used up her boots and done a lot of double moving, but has not used her action surge.
Go ahead.
So that'll give me 2 more attacks on this assassin. All right, might as well try. Please let me hit them. Ah, yay, that does it, right?
That hits. Yep.
Yeah, okay, and 1 last attack on them.
Yep.
Ooh,
I like
okay.
how you roll
She just
higher.
goes boom, miss, boom, boom. Yes, that was worth an action surge. I'm very happy now.
Is Alphonse going to head in that direction?
Well, that was where the people ran, right?
Yep.
Then,
But one of them went invisible.
Yes.
One of them went invisible.
And a bear might be able to find them.
And a bear can do bear things very well.
Yep.
It smells like assassin.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Bearhead has keen smell. He's got advantage on perception checks that rely on smell. So I think he'll try to like sniff around and see if he can figure out where the invisible person went.
All right.
Let's see. Sorry. 1d20, keep 2d20, keep highest one. And what is Alphonse's perception? Keep highest one plus 7. Okay, that's a 24 for his sniffing to try to figure out where the.
All right. That's a really good roll. So you're a little confused. You know there were 2 of them, and you sort of had a bit of a scent on both of them, and oddly enough, they smelled very similar. But you know there was probably a slight sort of difference that someone with a particularly good sense of smell could sort of differentiate between the 2. However, you can't really figure out where the other one went. It's give me an intelligence check. You have sniffed very well. You have got a sense for where they might potentially be, but you're also trying to figure out this sort of confusing information.
14.
Given how the scents are mingling, you think maybe they're close to the other one.
Okay. Then Alphonse is going to. Did the like sniffing around count as his action?
No. I'll let you take an action.
Okay. Well, he's gonna run to where the person is, and then do his usual attempt at biting. He thinks he can do it this time.
Yep. I believe in Alphonse.
So this is the bite. Ah.
Shouldn't believe in Alphonse.
No.
Apparently I did not believe hard enough.
Yeah.
He bit the tent.
Yeah, he's probably actually destroying this end of this tent.
And then with the claws.
Hey, that hits.
Yay!
He's getting pretty good
Yay.
with the claws. 2d4
Right.
plus 2. So that's 7 damage.
Okay. That person is looking particularly hurt. Gildy,
Yeah, so
you can, I say from where you are, you can see that assassin.
the one that Alphonse just attacked?
Yeah.
Okay. Does she have a clear shot?
Yeah, I mean, if you moved, you'd have a better shot, but you've got a shot at the moment.
Okay. I think she'll take a couple steps to the side so she has a clearer shot and isn't risking like
Sure.
hitting people. So like she moves like here.
Yep.
Okay.
Take your shot.
Okay. So here's our first shot. And that hits a 13.
Nope.
Okay, and then her second shot.
Now that definitely hits.
Okay, and then one more shot.
Roll damage for that one. Oh, 6, never mind.
Oh, 6 damage, yep.
Yeah, okay, now you can take your next shot.
Okay.
That misses. All right. Okay. And Talon, you're next. This assassin is not looking good at all.
Talon was going to turn and pick up this elf, assuming unconscious is implied consent to, and basically take the elf back inside the hall where they'd be safer. But I did notice that one of the assassins went invisible, so there's presumably another assassin around. Yeah, so I will continue to do that. So I will go over and go to pick up the elf, and I guess make eye contact with the halfling to make sure that they are okay with, like, I'm going to take the elf inside. Would they allow...
Are you communicating that?
Yes. And I will say it, I think, I'll say it in Elvish, to the halfling.
It would be great if they can't actually understand you.
That would be kind of fun.
They understand you.
So, yeah.
All right, so you're going to pick them up and take them inside.
Yep.
How far are you going?
I will take them basically inside and around the corner and keep the door closed behind me.
All right. All right. Leon.
All right. Is this like... I want to try and figure out a way to find that invisible assassin.
If only the person with See Invisible was not on the other side of the building.
What? What's where?
Okay. Okay, so the door has been shut now.
Yeah, you're not entirely certain about that, but you've heard it sort of slam closed below you.
Okay. I guess I'm going to shout out, Jacob, we need you. I'm going to keep my eye on the door. And this assassin that's in front of the bear is looking really rough, right?
Yep.
And they're the one who shot me, right?
Yep.
Okay. Then I'm going to shoot them.
Okay.
But I'm yelling out, Jacob, we need you. Because it's fun. Okay. Please let me kill the assassin. Oh, wait. Boom.
Can I shout out, I'm sorry, I don't know where your horse is?
Oh, darn. I miss.
All right. Okay. However, the couple people that were sort of milling around outside all have pistols at the ready. One of them is able to shoot that assassin, and they go down. And we'll make Dorak go, and then I'll sort of wrap things up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yep, I know. There we go. 12 damage. This one, that one there. Was I doing damage to the wrong one again? Oh, jeez. Give me a sec. All right, that one's dead. Okay. So yeah, we'll say for the sake of simplicity that Dorak, you sort of hack into that one and they go down. And there's a bit of a stillness that falls. You're not sure if that's all the assassins, but sort of nothing seems to be immediately happening at that moment. Talon, actually Mint, give me an attack roll with disadvantage.
Okay, and that is
Attack roll with your rapier with disadvantage.
with the rapier. Okay. Where did the rapier go? I'm just gonna roll twice because I don't have the macro for the disadvantage, so we'll just take whichever one is lower. Well.
Yay!
All right. So 5 damage. You think you hear or feel somebody moving nearby you, and you know that somebody went invisible, so you're like flailing around, and you think you hit somebody. Talon, inside the room, you've taken this person in and sort of laid them down. The halfling that you're with, you see, he sort of kneels over them, like, can't believe I have to heal them again. But you're interrupted when the door slams open, and you can hear sort of running feet towards you. And give me a sec. The assassin appears as they attack, and seem to be able to essentially attack the elf before the sort of healer gets there. And with their surprise from being invisible otherwise, it does not go well for the elf. The assassin then pretty much starts flailing around and doing sort of the same sort of frothing at the mouth things that the other ones were doing as they start to die as well.
Damn it.
Yeah, they were close enough that they could make that and still attack. And that's sort of the last sort of thing that happens. We're sort of out of combat now. What would people like to do?
Well, Leon definitely flies in right away to like see what can be done.
I think I saw or passed by the leaders that I'm aware of, like my commanding officers, and they did not look good. I want to rush up to them and offer potions if they can take them, because they looked like they might be out.
Who would you go to first? Lieutenant Mistweaver or Sergeant Stolt?
Oh God, that's a good question. I'd probably go higher ranking.
Lieutenant Mistweaver. All right, you pour a potion down her throat, and she sort of starts awake as if she had been dying. You do the same with the sergeant, and nothing happens.
I liked Stolt. Oh.
Yep. He had been gone just a little too long.
While everyone's doing that, I think Jacob, while he still has invisibility and flight, would do kind of a perimeter around the camp, just looking to see if he can find any other assassins invisibiling about.
Go ahead. So yeah, as you sort of do a perimeter check around the camp, you're actively perceiving. So yeah, give me a perception check. I was going to say given your passive perception is pretty high, you might see things, but let's see, since you're sort of actively looking around, what you might see. If you can get a little bit higher. It's the same as your passive perception. All right. I'll give you this. As you're doing your sort of perimeter check, you see the one dead assassin that was sort of coming down the ridge, the first sort of pass. And as you do the second pass there, you notice something that sort of draws you down a little bit closer, and there's two sets of footprints that are coming down that ridge, and only one dead assassin. And the other ones sort of fade out a little bit as they sort of get down into sort of, drier ground, but you can definitely see that there's potentially one assassin still out there somewhere. And I'll allow you to essentially keep looking for them, but I'm going to sort of move on to others for a moment.
Yep.
Is the elf still alive, or are they dead?
They are dead.
So is Leon now back in the town hall?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, so Will has ideas. Talon has not necessarily figured out, but maybe he has with his point. You said that Talon had noticed that there's an air about them, a familiarity about this elf.
Yep. And actually, I'll sort of give you that extra moment. Sort of now you're sort of just looking at them being dead and sort of staring at them as opposed to just in passing. The sort of the accoutrements, the things they have on them, the even in death, sort of the bearing they had. You've got, I think, a high enough passive insight. You are fairly certain they have gone through similar training to you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, that was not what I was expecting you to say.
Leon is definitely really familiar with this person and is like on her knees crying over this body.
Talon will ask Leon who this is.
I'm going to give Leon an intelligence check.
Leon aces intelligence checks.
13 is good enough.
Okay.
So you are very distraught at this moment in time, but you also have something on you in your bag of holding.
You mean like a life stone?
Oh yeah. Can I hold up my bag of holding and say, Talon, use the life stone?
All right. Talon will reach in and think life stone.
Close your eyes and think of the life stone.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
pull it out, and something weird will happen to Talon. Each time, as requested, Talon will then also try to use the life stone to revive the elf.
Okay.
Maybe low, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm so glad the Talon is here and I don't have to touch it.
Repo, you're like, talented. Like, why would? Oh yeah.
You're gonna end up glowing or something.
I think glowing's what I did last time. I can't remember if it was.
Yep.
Really
It
Oh yeah.
lasts a while
hours or
too.
what it was.
Exactly. I don't want to glow for a long time. Nope.
Oh, that's where it is. I'm like, where did I put the lifestone information? I'm like, I know I've got it written down somewhere.
Hey, it's a good thing we didn't stash it anywhere.
Right.
One sec, I know where it is.
I had another potential plan, but I'm glad this is available.
Yeah, you have your ring, don't you?
Oh yeah.
I've given you ways to revive people, just in case, because you didn't have clerics in your group, but...
Yay.
Oh, jeez. Got a table of contents for a beginning, or for a reason. Okay, there we go. Okay. So, yes, it has 5 charges. Yeah, you can cast Revivify for 3 charges. I believe Revivify is anybody who's been dead within the last minute.
1 minute.
Yep.
So I will allow that. And anyone possession stone. Yep. Yep. And you'll glow a random color for 2d10 hours. For the next 8 hours. I can't remember what color you glowed last time, but whatever color it is, it's the same color. It's
It
always
was
the same
magenta.
color. Yeah, magenta for you.
That sounds familiar. Yep.
I thought it was salmon.
Salmon,
All
magenta.
similar.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Yeah, so you cast Revivify from the Lifestone. And they are revivified and sort of wake up. They have not been having a particularly good day.
Well, the halflings having a worse day because I mean they were complaining. I'm like, but your friend.
Actually, yeah, the halfling doesn't know this person particularly well.
Oh, I assumed it was like their servant or their some kind of. Okay.
Nope.
And suddenly the roof caves in and they die again.
So Leon hugs them.
And they're a little surprised, but then they sort of
tightly, but then it's kind of awesome though because I rolled really high on my deception, so it's like hug them and then immediately pretend like it's not actually a thing.
I don't know you.
So that by the time anyone else is in here, pretending like I don't know them.
Ellen, you're fairly certain Leon and this person know each other. You saw all of that.
And then I get Talon to put the lifestone back in the bag of holding.
Yes.
Mint, not remembering how the lifestone works, does ask if there's enough charge left to revive. Why am I blanking on his name again?
Sergeant Pepper.
Sergeant Stolt.
Sergeant Stolt, yeah.
Unfortunately not. However, Talon has a ring.
I did not know Talon had a ring.
Nobody knows Talon has a ring except Talon.
So is Talon going to mention this or no?
Talon doesn't know that you've got somebody who's died that you care about, so Talon's just sitting here right now.
That is
Well,
so cold and callous.
Except that I just came up to you and the elf and asked Charge to revive Sergeant Stolt.
I thought you were asking Rob, not asking. Okay.
Oh no, I'm asking Leon about the lifestone because I have a dead friend that the assassins killed.
Yeah.
So.
It's like, where are they?
And I bring them over there,
Yep,
assuming
it's
you're
the other
coming
side
with
of
the
the room.
lifestone.
Yep.
Although you're probably already glowing from having used it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
That's awesome.
All right. To keep it simple, yes, Talon will kind of reach down and try to, I'm assuming at this point Talon would have researched the ring enough to know how it works. And we'll cast Revivify on your friend.
And just for the sake of interest, as you cast Revivify on this person, the color drains out of you and sort of seems to seep into this person and then fades away.
Interesting.
Oh.
Huh.
And Leona's definitely seeming like her tears are at her injuries and just the senseless death and all of these assassinations. It's so
And
It's so
yet,
senseless.
Because Leon gets worked up about these kinds of things.
Salensa has no such qualms about ignoring who you are and is like gabbing at you and it's like, Leon, what are you, or not Leon, Anna, what are you doing here? And we're out in the middle of nowhere. I didn't expect to see any of our kind here, and there were so many others, and now you're here, and what's going on? Why are these people trying to, well, actually, no, never mind. I know why they're trying to kill me.
Salensa, aren't you on a secret mission? I was trying to, didn't you see me trying to preserve your secrecy?
Everybody here knows.
Well, everybody here doesn't know me.
No.
And my name is Leon, but thanks.
Oh, hello, Leon. What's their deception? Yeah, they probably do that a whole lot better. 15, yeah, decently well.
Hey, I had a 22. I did better. And what is your name, friend?
Her name is Salensa.
Okay, fine. Hi, I'm trying.
Yeah, she, so, I'll just sort of come back to others in a moment here. So that's, yeah, while that's going on, Jacob, if you want to make another perception check to try and sort of, actually, give me a survival check to see if you can track this person.
Survival, you say?
Yeah.
There's a skill I use all the time. That.
Yep. Unfortunately, you are not able to follow the prince effectively, but sort of you're keeping a wary eye out in this area, and given sort of the town is sort of coalescing around the town hall and whatever else is going on, you knowing that there's somebody else out there and sort of keeping an eye out, you don't see anything that seems to be of risk to anybody at this point.
Okay, so I'll head back to where everyone else is.
Yeah, and I'll add a caveat, not a caveat, an addendum. Yeah, there that later on people will find out that there was an assassin hiding out in one of the tents that eventually just ran off into the desert, essentially.
Okay.
So, yes, the group comes back together, and Mint, your group is here. Your otherwise allies and friends are here. Sergeant Stolt is alive. I suppose I should take the arrows off them so that they are actually alive. Not that it
Yay!
is, but there we go.
And I think at this point, any kind of like tension and anxiety and fear that she had and adrenaline during that battle is just happy everybody's alive right now, and is just kind of like sitting on her ass on the ground going, I'm so glad we got here in time.
And that halfling that was trying to heal the elf, once sort of people start to gather together and sort of Salensa has talked to Leon a little bit, the halfling sort of gets up and like clears his throat and like calls out to everybody and sort of this hushed all over things. Like, all right, we're gonna get to the bottom of this and find out what happened. Salensa, you're with me. You, as it sort of points out sort of the group, like you, I don't know your names. Mint, you're with me.
Okay. She gets up reluctantly, but she gets up.
Yep. And you are all introduced to First Lieutenant BB. Who is the halfling, who's in charge of this entire group, Bimini Bramblethwaite, or everybody calls him BB for short, as he marches you all over to the other hall in town, out of sort of the town hall, and sort of brings together the leaders and your group and Salensa. And even as you're arriving there, there's Leon, you're surprised to see a whole other group of elves that you recognize, not necessarily personally, but they are very much dressed and sort of attired as people from Dell. You catch the earrings of one of them,
Okay.
as being an Atwasani. I know I'm going to make you go look that up.
I have to look it up.
You vaguely recognize another one as being the fourth hand of the queen.
And sorry, hold on. An Atwasani? I'm sorry, there's an Atwasani here?
Yes.
And they weren't involved in this?
No, they were out
altercation?
walking in the fields when all of this happened. They were being given a tour of the...
Okay. I'm definitely like creating like a headscarf kind of thing and basically like wrapping that up. And it's the entire time that we've been in the room kind of before we got ushered over to here, then everybody would have undoubtedly noticed that Solanza and Leon were like really close. We're talking to each other. We're probably like holding hands, and like Leon looks the most relaxed she has ever looked in the entire time that any of you have known her. This person is clearly, like blatantly, obviously a childhood friend. And it's undoubtedly probably pretty stunning, the difference between how she acted around her sister and how she's acting around this person. But as soon as we get into that space and there's people from Dell, whoosh, there's a headscarf hiding my face.
Yep.
And I'm moving away, distancing myself from
I'm going to give
Solanza.
The one of them a check.
And undoubtedly does a big double take, looking at the one person with the 10 earrings on their ears.
Yeah. The other one, you recognize, again, you don't necessarily know them by name. You probably could recall it given your memory, but they are, so the queen has several sort of very close, they're not even really advisors, they're sort of people who do things for the queen, but like specifically for the queen, and they are called the Hands of the Queen. She has, depending on sort of, who she's, talking to at any given moment, probably between like 5 and 10. This is the fourth hand of the queen that is here with this high mage, and sort of gives a glance over you, and you think might have recognized you.
Okay.
Even with the headscarf on.
I'm going to try and blend into the scenery.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here. But yeah, Leon has 4 earrings. This person has 10. And in the time that you've known her, Leon has gained, like started off with 3, now has 4. So, yeah.
And as you all gather together in sort of the hall, and sort of Bimini sort of, puts his hands down on the table and is like, all right, we're going to figure out what's going on here, and we'll get to that right after our break. All right, so we'll be back in 5 minutes to continue on with that, and we'll see you then for the exciting conclusion of our season. See you soon.
Yay.
Hello, and welcome back to the next level. So, a large group has gathered in this sort of conference room-like hall. There's sort of a large table in the middle of it. Of the group of elves, only 2 joined, and even as sort of the others came in, as you came in, there was others that came in as well. Some interesting people you see in this group that's sort of now crowding around this table. So yeah, from Dell, there's Solanza, which is Leon's childhood friend. Again, and 2 others that seem significantly important, and one of whom Leon seems very impressed with. There is a goblin that is sort of in relatively nice for goblin sort of like riding leathers and sort of armor, and looks like he's sort of potentially in some, maybe like clan leader or position of authority of something, you're not quite sure. There is a Kenku that is also sort of sitting in on this meeting. A couple Tabaxi are here. including one that I will let Carolyn describe in just a moment. And who have I missed? Oh, the last one's of note to Jacob. Jacob, you recognize these two, and Mint, you probably recognize them as well. They are two gnomes. And Jacob sort of takes you a moment, and then you sort of look over and like, did I really see that? These two are two of the lost high artificers. It is Lorik Hathspenny and the Brial Willowsoft, the master of firearms and the high artillerist.
Whoa.
Yeah. And yeah, there's this sort of group that are gathered in this room. In fact, do you want to describe the one tabaxi, Carolyn?
Sure. So this tabaxi, so tabaxi are like cat people. And she is, all the tabaxi are quite tall. They're like probably between 6 and 7 feet. So she's like 6.5 feet tall. Looks a bit like a mountain lion, like that kind of, a little bit stocky. She is, she likely is chatting the ear off of somebody near her. Just anybody, literally anybody near her, she is chatting.
Say it's the Kenku just for fun.
Yes, she gets along quite well with the Kenku. Yeah, and she just looks like very like happy and very at ease, like with this large group of people here.
Nice. And introductions are made sort of all around. You can introduce yourself however you like. But yes, the others are introduced. So as I mentioned, there's the two gnomes, Laura Catspenny and Brielle Willowsoft. The two from Dell are Habir Urusani, who's the High Mage, and Rasha Seorsalini. No, I said that wrong. Seorsalani. There we go. Who is essentially a high commander of the kingdom of Dell. So not quite, think of, if you had sort of a command structure, there'd be sort of whoever's in charge and then a bunch of generals and probably like whatever's just below that sort of thing. And Solansa, the Goblin Outrider. Oh, I did not give him a name. What's a fun goblin name we want to give to a goblin?
Grogu.
Grogu. Done.
No, I'm kidding. That's probably trademarked.
Is it? I have no idea.
Oh. Oilers.
Yeah, let's not do that one.
We'll call him Rogan. There we go.
That sounds good.
The goblin. And he mentions that he is the leader of 12 outriders who ride on flying mounts. Two of them on giant wasps and the other 10 on giant flies. The Kenko introduces himself as let's see, probably Featherwind, like that. And yes, there's the Tabaxi, the one of which is named
Kristen Wiig.
I think that she just she introduces herself as Wisp.
Wisp. And the other one we shall say is also called Silence, just for fun. And I think those are most yeah. And then there's the sort of the commanders of this group. So there's Bimini Bramblethwaite, Sergeant Stolt, Lieutenant Mistweaver, and Lieutenant Ulos, who is a half orc. And yeah, Bimini sort of he doesn't seem to have any qualms being a halfling, just getting up and standing on the table, and sort of marching around it. He is definitely in charge here. And it's like, all right, so I know that we had partially debriefed Solansa, but given that we now have some new arrivals, perhaps it's best we start from the beginning. And sort of turns to Mint and your groups like, as a quick recap, we have been, pardon me, gathering forces and resources to use against the Empire. We had reached out to Dell, and they have sent a force here to hear what we have to say. We've been reaching out to many of the people around us in the Thurin Wastes as well. We have sort of the delegations from, the Tabaxi and the Kenku and the Goblins here. And we've been telling them a little bit about what we know. And what we know is this. There is an imminent threat from the Empire that potentially could affect very much this region, if not the entire world. I will not go into too much detail as to what that is at the moment, because we have received word of perhaps a even more imminent threat from the Empire, and I will let Solansa explain. At which point Solansa steps forward. And thank you, Bimini, for your introduction. I was sent on a mission to gather information on what we heard was a potential new weapon that the Mournish were crafting. Myself and my team, unfortunately, my team did not survive the trip out of Mornay. We went to Jendisa. And there, I witnessed what I will describe as, I guess, a prototype of a flying ship of some sort. It seemed to be quite significantly armed and armored, using some form of balloon, large balloon to perhaps keep it aloft. I did not see it flying. It was at sort of a dock while I was there. I was able to steal the plans that the Empire has around this ship or others like it. But yes, there's a massive hidden shipyards in the mountains near Jendisa. There was one ship completed and at least 5 others being worked on. And the plans, the word is that they will have a fleet, however many that means, ready by next summer in a matter of 7 months or so. We have the plans for the ships, and hopefully by looking through those we can determine a weak point or some form of counterattack if they are used against Dell or other locations. But I think part of what I will be focusing on, and perhaps a Dell contingent as well, would be attacking these shipyards to stop production of these ships so that they can never be used against anybody. As I said, unfortunately, my team sacrificed themselves so that I might make it away. These assassins or ones like them have been chasing us since we left Mornay. And yes, I arrived here about 2 days ago and was trying to explain to these others what I had found as well. But yeah, there's definitely a threat from these that seems like it could be used against Dell or other enemies in the near future. What does your group have to say about that, or any thoughts?
Gilby's very tense. She's just kind of like she's crossing her arms and just not happy right now.
I'm guessing this is most likely the result of them forcing the artificers to make designs for them and to try and help them solve the issues they were having with Dell, trying to match the ships in the water. And I know that it would be an advantage to be able to bypass water. And rather than just looking at land itself, it seems they've set their sights on conquering the air. I don't know how that works, really, except for having seen balloons in the past. But we're talking, how big are these?
They are significant sized. If they were a waterborne ship, I would call it a battleship.
Oh my. We were investigating something else that potentially had some dire consequences across the land, and we were about to head back with our contingent as now to the Shadow Forest, as there are dark forces at play, but it is not on this potentially disastrous scale as it's spreading across the land. But this is bad. This is very, very bad.
This isn't even the imminent threat that they, didn't tell us about.
So what was the other imminent threat?
Because this is the one that is more imminent, right? The one with the ships is more imminent.
Battleships is the
These
more
could be
imminent
here
threat.
by summer. So there's another threat that is years out, I take it?
They're uncertain. So, yeah, that's the sort of, it comes back to BB, Bimini, and he sort of takes a look around at this group and has a sort of a big sigh. And it's like, I'm sure most of you have heard of what we Fusiliers did several years back, our attempt to assassinate the Emperor. That is not entirely true. It is not necessarily the Emperor who we feel is the largest threat at this particular moment in time. And sort of, again, sort of pauses and seems to sort of strongly be considering what to say and how to say it. And says that we have become aware of a supernatural threat. Our captain, Captain Randath, was contacted by, I guess for now I'll leave that source out of things, but they were contacted by a significant and trustworthy source. And given an account of a supposed ancestor of one of the generals in the Moorish army. And it could be chance. However, the description of this ancestor described in detail several identifying features, so scars and sort of other unique elements, which, if you were to look at the general today, that is the descendant of this ancestor, you would say that they were perhaps the same person. And when given a sort of holds up a ring, a magical ring to oddly enough, the magical ring is slightly glowing at the moment, which senses the divine. It identified this general as some form of potentially ancient and fallen deity that seems to be helping the Empire in some way. And it had been our attempt to try to get rid of that threat, but we had been unsuccessful and unable to do so. It is not necessarily the Empire itself that we fear. We are and were members of the Empire. It was the influence of this outside force. And we believe that this outside force has been influencing the Empire for hundreds of years and has, in fact, caused the war and chaos that we have been living through for these past hundreds of years. It is not the current emperor, although he has not done much to stop things, but we also have an ally. The king heir to the empire, Tavian IV, is on our side and would like to see the empire come to peace, would like to see these other forces dealt with, and has been our source of information in the capital for these last couple of years while we've been exiled. We do not yet know how to deal with this supernatural element of things. We tried and failed a direct assault with hundreds of men, and that was not the way to do it, apparently. But yes, we have multitude of threats now, including these new ships and some element from the Shadow Forest, which was not something we had been aware of, and I will want to debrief you further on. Thank you. These are dire times, and we must act accordingly. And I hope that when you go back to your peoples and your tribes and your friends and allies, that you will let them know of the aid that we need and the direness of our quest. And our hope is that we will be able to raise an army large enough to face off against the elements from the Empire that we need to vanquish. At that point, he sort of looks at the ring again, is like, looks around, and sort of puts it away. Yeah. There's a bit of a silence in the room. That's pretty much the first time that most of the people there had been hearing this. And Bimini says, I'll give you a little bit of time to digest this information. I know it's a lot. Some of you have been given quarters already. We can arrange some for the rest. Yes, you'll be dismissed for now. We will meet again tomorrow and see if there's any more perhaps that we can discuss at that time. So he pretty much dismisses sort of all of the others and then turns to you and your group and turns to Mint and says, you've found some interesting allies, Corporal.
Not all of them are interested in joining the cause, as it were, but as you brought up the Shadow Forest, that is where we were heading. So paths collide. I didn't even know that the Shadow Forest was on the Fusiliers' radar at this time.
It wasn't until you mentioned it.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
And this is something about which I would like to know more, to see how much of a threat it is.
Yes. So what is happening within the forest is that, and we actually got inside of one of these domes. It is a dome made up of shadow. We breached its perimeter, went inside, and saw that there was a conversion process happening where there were those travelers who had gone missing within the Shadow Forest. And they had been mind-washed into just doing the processes of then converting others into becoming shadow forms of their former selves. We had encountered monsters. You may have heard of the monsters encountered in the forest. The conversion was happening within this dome, where energy was being manipulated in a way to convert animals and people. And it seemed like there was a root that was even deeper than this. And these domes are most likely in existence in other forests as well. So we were going back to try and get deeper in and try and eliminate this presence once and for all, hopefully, from at least that part of the forest.
Is this a threat you feel you can thoroughly deal with, given yourself and your allies?
We feel confident.
Then I shall leave that in your hands if that is the quest you wish to pursue. And sort of turns to the rest of you and says, thank you for helping us. And I believe it was you that warned us of these assassins. We appreciate your efforts. He sort of looks a little chagrined and is like, I am a cleric myself, and yet I had not thought to take any Revivify spells today. I did not think I would need them when I woke up this morning. I'm glad that others were able to return our fallen, or at least some of our fallen from the dead. That is something from which we can never truly repay you, and if there is anything we can do to assist you while you are here, you need only ask, and we shall see what we can do, though our resources be meager.
Yes, and we do require resources to continue on our journey to the Shadow Forest. We ended up taking a bit of a detour. Kind of looks over at Tor. And unfortunately, our supplies are low for our group. I know that farming here is not always great, and then after the battle, some resources may have been lost just from the fighting. But we do need to stock up on food, especially if we are to make the journey the rest of the way.
You're muted.
Oh.
No, sorry, Leon is muted.
I'm muted.
Oh, okay.
So Leon, who's kind of been hiding in Talon's shadow this entire time ever since we've been in this area, basically kind of leans over to Talon and kind of whispers in Elvis and is like, mention that we may need some wizardly material components.
Talon sort of like nods a bit and sort of like steps slightly forward just enough to kind of draw attention. And
Leon steps in behind him.
Well, that's what I said, like just enough to be like, I want to say something, not enough to be like stepping. And basically says, yes, perhaps in addition to food, if it would be possible to get a few supplies for spell casting and the like, that would also be quite helpful.
Sort of Bimini nods to that. It's like, we do not have many mages here. I'm sorry, but I can get you in touch with them and see if perhaps they can help you. Perhaps the contingent from Dell perhaps might be able to lend some assistance as well. I believe they are significantly more powerful than our mages are. So if you are inclined to ask them, I can at least make an introduction.
I myself am now out of healing potions.
So leans to Talon is like, tell him your mages will be fine.
We'll just make a list and we'll give it to him and see what we can do.
Yes, a list is a great idea. I can pull out paper and a quill and start writing.
I'm writing down, yes, what you need.
Yeah.
It's like, feel free to take that away and write and bring whatever you need to us. We'll have some quarters arranged for you, unless you would like your friends to stay into your old hut. They might be a little cramped there, but I'm sure you could make some room. We have some extra tents that could be set up.
I know that Leon would appreciate a bed, so I don't recall the one in my hut being particularly comfortable. Tor, you can speak to that as well.
Or is not really one for judging mattress quality.
So, if Leon wants a bed.
No, remember, I don't sleep. It was the first session I got confused and I thought I needed a bed. I don't need a bed.
Yes.
Somewhere nice and dry to study. And
if you would like someplace nice to stay that isn't a hut or a tent, they do have a small guest house.
No, because I've got a tiny hut.
Yeah. All right.
So like Leon is just like, whatever, your lodgings are fine. Anyone who wishes can stay with me in my tiny hut.
But the
Oh,
tiny
yeah,
hut,
you can make one now too.
but the tiny hut doesn't make a bed, and as much
No.
as Leon doesn't need to sleep, Leon might want to like just rest a little more than sitting.
No, I figure Leon trances and she's always just sitting cross-legged, trancing.
All right.
Oh,
Anything else you want to sort of, as you're dispersing and leaving, anybody you want to talk to, anybody you want to sort of address? Jacob, I'm not sure if you're interested in talking to those artificers or not.
Well, I don't know how well I know them, but I would definitely approach them.
All right. Yeah, assuming that you at least ask or sort of get directed to where they are, there is a smithy, a small sort of forge area that you get directed to. That's actually just sort of slightly southwest of the town hall, and you can find them there. They are, you find them forging some rather significantly sized cannons. Yeah.
I think I would just introduce myself as a student of name is
Zenfell.
Zenfell. Thank you.
And
ask if there's anything I can do to assist.
There may be. Zenfell was not. Well, no, I have to double check. I don't think he was one of theirs. One sec. There we are. Yeah, he was the master of potions and elixirs. That's right. Yeah, so it was like, Zenfell's area of expertise was not necessarily in sort of crafting and forging as much, I believe, but we have much to do here. If you would like to lend a hand, there's some simple tasks we could show you. Any student of Zenfell's would be welcome to work with us.
Yeah, so I think I would take a portion of the day and assist them what they need with whatever they need, and just kind of talk about my experiences in being kidnapped early on in the campaign, and just to kind of build some rapport with these.
Yeah. Do you mention that Zenfell is, as far as you know, dead?
I think I would.
All right. They are sad to hear that news. There are unfortunately far too many artificers that have died being sought by the Empire. And given what they heard at the meeting today, it also seems likely that a couple have been taken prisoner and perhaps are being held and used to create these flying ships as well. They seem a little bit sort of giddy that then, and the one will sort of tell you of their master plan. The cannons that they're making, these are good sized, like 10-foot long cannons with a good 8-inch bore on them. The plan for these, now that they've had some time talking with the representatives from Dell who arrived a little while ago, Dell is going to provide some small pocket dimensions, essentially portable holes, in which the cannons will be sunk. They can be then folded up and carried away to wherever they need to be, opened up and hidden below ground to be able to fire at whatever is around them. The deal is that since this is sort of a combined effort between Dell and these folks to make them, Dell is going to provide 60 portable holes, and half will go back to Dell, and half will be provided to the Fusiliers. So they are busy forging these 60 cannons that will go into these 60 portable holes for these sort of portable artilleries. Yeah. And yeah, you get sort of a little grimy and dirty and nice solid good work, working in the forge, pumping the bellows and helping them out as they need for that day, and they managed to sort of finish off the one cannon they're working on, and then sort of it gets sort of moved out and put in a storage shed, and you can see that there's already probably a good like dozen of them here, and then they start working on the next one.
While I'm working with them, with my alchemy background, I continually bring up the suggestion that we should carve some sort of arcane sigils into the cannons to make the fireballs flaming.
Oh, yeah, so the projectile would be a flaming object as well, and that is quite interesting. We'll have to discuss that with Dell. They know a little bit more about the intricacies of that side of things. But yes, that could be quite an effective weapon.
I've had some great experience with fire. I'm always happy to help out.
Very, very much appreciative of the suggestion.
This won't go poorly at all.
No. Anybody else?
Is Solanza available, or is she now kind of? But is she attached to like the Dell?
She would probably be talking to some of them, but if you otherwise, signal her, she could break away.
Okay, so I would be able to like discreetly signal her. Okay, then I let her know that Princess Rationala should be somewhere in the area. That she both is alive and she should be somewhere in the area because, giving her the timeline, this is where we met her. She's headed back this way. Someone could use sending, and undoubtedly she would be happy to join. And her skills as a warrior and as a knight captain would undoubtedly be helpful, and she may always know something about these, be able to figure out something about the ships.
That's very useful information. Thank you. I will have her contacted.
All right. And then I guess I'll ask her too and be like, do the others recognize me? Have I said anything?
I believe that Rasha has recognized you. She has not mentioned anything. I get the feeling she understood you did not want to be observed, and otherwise is leaving you to your own devices.
Excellent. Then I shall make myself scarce. However, I'm going to attempt to get the material components for Find Familiar from the mages within this camp. If that is not possible, if perhaps I could get those components from the Delish contingent, that would be most appreciated.
See if I might be able to arrange something.
Thank you.
And just give me a quick, whatever is better of investigate or persuasion. I should go back to 20 so I can actually see what the result.
Investigation is better.
All right. And I'll say that's good enough that you don't have to go back to the Dell contingent.
Sweet.
There's only 2 mages, and they're like decently sort of mid-level sort of wizards. But yeah, you are able to trade with them for the supplies to do Find Familiar. You get sort of 1 instance of the spell.
Yep.
What would you trade them?
I mean, what would they want?
Yeah, I suppose of what you have, what might you offer? I'm just curious.
Well, I mean, in theory, I could share some of my knowledge and like give them some spells.
Yep, they would be happy to learn new spells.
Okay. Okay. What level spell would they be interested in?
Any level spell you have.
Okay. What kind of spell would they be interested in?
Probably the more sort of obscure or sort of unique spells, the better. So spells that are a little sort of less common. They're probably both, I'll say one's an evoker, one's a transmuter. sort of, so if our spells of those school could potentially be, easier for them to transcribe, although they would probably know most of the main sort of well-known ones.
Yeah, that's not what I have.
Yeah. Or
I mean,
again, spells of interest that are otherwise sort of, more the fringe of things, like tidal wave. They may not have tidal wave.
Okay, can they cast third level spells?
Yes, they are
All right.
higher level than you.
Oh, because you're like, yeah, they're not very high level.
Well, they're
like...
mid-level. They're I think.
Oh.
If I've used the mage template, they're probably like 11th level-ish. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. Tidal wave it is.
All right.
I mean, that seems like for one set of spell components for Find Familiar, which is like 50 gold plus using their brass brazier. That seems a bit steep. I mean, I'm happy to do it, but it seems like I should get more than just that.
You get the good conversation of people who understand magic for an afternoon.
All right, fine. All right, sweet. And I once again summon Ranu.
Yay!
I have an owl again. I can see things.
And as night falls,
I was going to just pull Tor aside before it got dark to try and find the stone.
Oh yes, go searching for the stone again. Yes, and as a small cutscene because they would have arrived long before evening. Kess and the guard twins do arrive in town. But yes, there's a small cutscene from earlier that day while you were in the middle of your fight. There's a scene of the guard twins being their usual selves and bickering back and forth about, like, I don't know, should we go and just investigate the bushes? There was definitely people in the bushes. Like, no, they're not in the bushes anymore. We should definitely go to the town. I'm pretty sure I can fighting in the town. I don't know, those bushes look pretty dangerous. And Kess is like, just shut up. I'm maintaining concentration on this spell.
That's awesome.
Sorry, little thing I imagined and figured I'd share.
That is excellent.
Yep.
So yes, you do manage to go out and spend some time searching through the bushes and find your stone of healing.
I mean, using Tor like a detect magic divining rod.
Yep. Well, you threw it.
Oh, you hit me with it.
You could have thrown me. I'd know where I was.
And as evening falls, you're gathered around the fire, probably an outside fire at Mint's cottage. You can see, like, there's this nice plot of fields that other people have been tending while Mint's been away, and the cottage has been sort of spruced up a little bit now that you're back. There's probably a couple other tents set up for other people who want to stay there as well. That your tiny hut could be over the tents as well. And you sort of get together as a group around this fire that evening. And is there anything that comes up that evening as you sort of think back on the last few days, or even just the encounters of today?
It's been a lot. I'm exhausted mentally.
This did not go as expected.
I think that's your tagline at this point.
Not go according to plan.
Well, no, just I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen when we came into town, but I certainly wasn't expecting to run into a childhood friend and a contingent from Dell and learn about all of these things.
I was not expecting to find out that the Empire had made such advances technologically. I mean, I knew they'd captured artificers, but I expected that maybe the artificers would have held out and not made them something. I guess that was what I was foolishly hoping.
Well, but it sounds like rather precarious to me. Like, we can definitely take out these airships and then they fall and do our job for us.
They fall and potentially land on our allies.
Well, it depends on where we knock them down.
It definitely sounded like there would be an attempt to destroy them before they launched in the summer.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully they don't launch them earlier than we anticipate. With the plans missing, they may try to up the production schedule. That's what I would do if I knew that I was developing something.
Certainly many dangers about.
Yes.
Indeed.
But our plan is to still journey to the Shadow Forest.
Yes.
And assuming we survive that, is our
Yes,
next.
we'll survive that. No question of this.
I appreciate your confidence. Is the plan after that? I heard talk, Jacob, of traveling to the Analadine Forest. Is that something we would do next?
As you look over to Jacob, and he's kind of been lost in thought, half not paying attention to conversations, and he just kind of looks up. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, whatever's fine, sure." It just something seems a little off about him.
Mint, knowing that Tor is going through some memory stuff, just kind of looks over at Jacob and goes, Are you okay? Are you recalling anything that's changed your mind?
I don't know. The further we go, the further I feel I get from whoever I was. Maybe it's not a bad thing. But I just something about it was just a bit of a shock to see some of the artificers today, and that brought back some of that initial kidnapping that I was part of. Yeah, perhaps a drink will help settle the mind. And so he pulls out his jug and offers some of the beer to people around in the evening.
I'll have a beer.
Your skin of mead as well, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Tor, are you going to bring out the mead?
Tor gives you the endless mead, but he's not partaking.
All right.
Alphonse takes some. Gildy does not. Gildy's very she just seems grumpy, and she's just not really talking. But Alphonse is his normal cheery self. He's like, "Did you all see that I was a bear? A bear! I've never tried that form before. I think I need some more practice with the teeth, but I was getting pretty good with the claws, I think." And he's kind of doing this. And he's like,
Alphonse, you are a delight.
And I think that will be the perfect note to end our season on. As sort of the scene fades out and the fire fades away, and we'll see what exactly next season brings for our heroes and their allies, and what direction they choose to go. I did promise you some announcements at the end, so I'll quickly talk about that if I can find the thing that I had up. There is it. All right, so if you have noticed, you probably have noticed, we haven't really been doing our Ask Force, sort of for the fun extra little bits of things to add in the last few weeks. And part of that is because we're sort of really changing around how we wanted to do things. So what we're going to do is ask a very general question and ask it ahead of time. And that's just, what would you like to see? What would you like to see in the game, in a character? What would you like to see our heroes fight, or who would they meet, or items they find? Is there a type of movie or genre you'd like to see sort of emulated? Anything like that. We'd love to hear suggestions from you. And what we're going to try and do is create a bit of a list of sort of different options that we can then pick out, and when we do, we'll sort of make sure to mention who suggested them as well, and those will be used in the first half of sort of our sessions before our break, but we'll also still have an ask for in our sessions in the coming season as well, which we can then use in sort of the second half as well, and try and integrate sort of a little bit of more of both, and sort of build more ideas and things that we can sort of add into the game to make things fun for our players and our viewers, and try and get a sort of a little bit more involvement from you as well. So please send us along any suggestions of things you'd like to see. You can reach us on Twitter. We now have a Twitter account, and if you go to the website, I believe the link is active there to hit that. It's also at, I'm blanking on the name, but Jessica.
Rolling in XP?
Rolling in XP, I think, is our Twitter. So at Rolling in XP. So you can reach us there and give us any suggestions you want for things you'd like to see in the game. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll see what we can use. And we'll start creating a list and sort of use some things from there. So that is the end of our first season, which we had sort of called Beginnings. And no, we're not going to call the next season Middles. I'll come up with a suitably interesting name for next time. But yeah, next time we'll be starting it'll be our season opener when we meet again in 2 weeks, and we'll see what direction people go and how we get to things, and maybe there's some new characters we're gonna be meeting. Kind of sounds like it. That might be an option. So we'll see all that, and hope to see you then next time as well. So take care for now, and yeah, be excellent to each other.